Hi, welcome back. I'm back with some readings for the new moon in Scorpio. I'm a little surprised myself. I kept seeing a date of January 7th, shortly after I did the original deck reveal on this channel and created this channel. This is all just happening very quickly, but I'm following my intuition, I'm following my impulses and my guides. And with that, and with the energies that are happening right now, I was compelled to do a reading for New Moon in Scorpio. The New Moon in Scorpio is coming up, but this is also, if you happen to stumble across it, when you stumble across it, please do tune in, tap into it, and consider it a timeless reading. The way I've decided to do this reading, because I tend to be more energetic than I am astrological or I will take into account astrology, and I will read into different I can channel in different things that way, but I'm feeling more than ever what I wanted to create here is a channel where we are choosing vibrationally. And if you are led to stumble across this channel, if you happen to come across and you see something here that that is inviting you in, then by all means tune into the deeper side of what you're hearing yourself, because I may be a conduit to some of these messages, but ultimately my goal and my aim always is to help everyone access that which we all have access to. So with that, what I've done is I've done the reading a little backwards. So these 4 cards that you see here were pulled at the very end of each stack that I pulled with the other cards. And what I asked for was that these visually and energetically symbolize the overall arc or message of, containing the other cards that I'd pulled for them. Those have also been read, and you can see me shuffling and pulling those afterward. But for now, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the new moon. I'm going to quiet the energy here, and then just invite you to close your eyes, open them, see which one of these cards speaks to you, and then you can skip ahead to the timestamp for it. And I also want you to play with this. If you feel that you have a question about someone else or for someone else, or you want to guide someone else, or if it's about, if you're split between 2 things and you feel that you want 2 messages, feel free to explore that way. But for the most part, just impulsively follow and go with your first impulse with whichever card you have, and see truly if that isn't a message for you right now. And again, I'll explain a little bit more as I'm channeling. The way I work is I will give specifics, but it is open to a bigger interpretation, and the idea is that you connect the dots, and that that this is just perhaps even the missing link to what you need to know for your situation. And I want you to feel that you've been involved in, choosing this and finding this channel here, and finding the message that you needed to hear right now in this moment. So for the new moon in Scorpio, Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, and it's a very occult, dark sign, to do with a lot of magic. Anything especially suggests, like around Scorpio, suggests rebirth. And I want you to think right now about this new moon in Scorpio coming up on the 27th and 28th, depending on where you are in the world, about that kind of energy. This is that Scorpio energy with the birth, the death, and the rebirth paradigm. And in that, just understand that it can be deep and transforming, but it doesn't need to be scary. I mean, this card here from Moonology, it does say, new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. I want to suggest that you look at fears the way I do, and that is just simply resistance, anything that we have resistance to. All right, enough talk for now. I'm going to tune in. I'd like you guys to do the same. And don't think, just enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the new moon reading in Scorpio, if you chose this symbol right over here. The new moon in Scorpio, you know, as this is a zodiac sign symbolizing death, rebirth, and transformation, just to speak a little bit more about it, Scorpio is also known, obviously, for its intense passion and therefore the deep emotional undercurrents. So I feel like this is a time to get quiet during this new moon phase. And it's in that solitude that we can ponder any aspect of our lives in the energy of this Scorpio new moon, which is symbolic of such deep change and transformation. It's inviting us to be vulnerable, just to be in that space of ambiguity, of the unknown, and to be okay there, to tap into our raw feelings, to uncover the truth just now, just in this moment. And after the reading, as you continue to digest it and you re-enter back into your life, the idea is to apply these messages from spirit. You know, you can anchor into what spoke to you. You can leave anything that didn't resonate. You can pick a theme to highlight and perhaps ask to become more aware of themes or messages, cladons that are happening specific and personal to you in your life. Okay, I just wanted to see that the camera is good. So, black, this is the color. This is the symbol, actually. I tried not to show the colors. I just wanted you guys to see the symbols originally. But the message here for black is find richness from the dark night. And it's number 28. To me, you know, 28, 2 plus 8, 10 or 1. 10 represents the beginning and the end or cycles. It's the alpha omega point in any life situation. It represents regeneration, recommitment, or new direction. And again, really cool, you know, given the new moon reading. You know, reducing 10 as a 1, this is the beginning. This is a time that can give focus, initiative, new commitment, a sense of direction. But black is also like the color that is representative of the unknown. It is, you know, as it says here, the dark night. It depicts strength and letting go. It's also, you know, it's a color of protection, but it's also a color of retreat. And going back to the 10 and the 1, similarly, black dissolves the old so that you can welcome the new. Black can be considered the absence of color. You know, it is actually required for all of the other colors, you know, to have depth and variation of hue. So that darkness is necessary, and we can, you know, we can kind of think of it and expand our thoughts of it to think of it that way, especially in the context of this new moon in Scorpio. As a dark night of the soul, as the shadow aspect of ourself, you know, can we look at this as a gateway to new experiences? Think of Scorpio and the gifts available by delving into our shadow side. So this color is in the full essence of this Scorpio new moon, and it's inviting us to connect to and learn from the shadow aspect of ourselves in order to emerge from it wiser and stronger. And like Scorpio, black is also associated with aggression, mystery, death, rebellion, but it also represents authority. Black is formal, formality, and it's sophistication. So let me quickly look at, I want to refer to the book for something here, and this is taken from The Secret Language of Color Cards. I will include, yeah, there is a little, I'm going to include this in the description box. It says here to receive its strength, its gifts to strengthen your faith. Say, Divine Spirit, infuse me with the strength, wisdom, and the courage to connect to and learn from the shadow aspect of myself. So I think that's a nice way to kind of begin the reading, and this was anchoring us in. This is actually, this is the symbol that you chose because this was the energy, or the picture that you were drawn to. Over here, I'm going to turn this on at the very end, and this is over at the very end, and this is going to bookend, the reading. So let's just begin. This is from a gorgeous deck called The Journey of Love. Let me turn this over. Okay, so we get the eruption of light. The paintings from this oracle deck are by an artist by the name of Rassouli. I'm gonna take a look, if I can find the book here, to let you know what the painting's name is, because it's different than, what was chosen, which says eruption of light. But the oracle message in this card, it's a reminder to be kind, through your spoken words and your voice, because your voice has the power to heal and your words have the power to create. There's a saying, as you speak it, so shall you live it. And this is the eruption of light, but the light is actually, it's coming from the voice within, as I am losing my voice. Isn't that wonderful? It's asking you to use your voice and mind your words, because you have a message to bring forth that will help you and that will help heal others. And it's at the right time, when it's received in the right way, through the right vehicle, through the right expression, it can be heard by many. So I'm just listening right now. Maybe this is a song, maybe this is a speech or poetry. Perhaps I'm speaking specifically to someone out there who will be speaking to many. Maybe this is just meant to be a quiet and connected talk with another individual. All right, let me find the book and read from it, because the way this book is set up, Alana Fairchild has written it. Rassouli has done the visual depiction, and she's invited Richard Cohn to write poetry. So this is actually one of the shorter ones. I will read this to you. It says, life begins with love. To complete itself again, symmetry is born. It's probably one of the shorter ones. They're usually a little bit longer in poetry, but this is beautiful. Life begins with love. To complete itself again, symmetry is born. And the painting is called A Moment in Eternity. So she's titled it Eruption of Light. The painting by Rassouli is A Moment in Eternity. And the message is actually about our voice within. And I will include that short poem in the description box. So from here, we've got the Ascended Master card of Purification and White Tara. This is from Doreen Virtue's deck. So White Tara is also known as, she's known as the mother of all Buddhas. And it's really, truly the perfect embodiment of purity and wisdom and graceful maternal power. You know, you want to call on her to help you purify anything in your life. She will help affirm loving thoughts about yourself and about others. And through this purification process, she helps ensure that there's harmony present, and she brings truly great blessings to all. So I'm going to get to the tarot cards right now. The way I've picked them is I pick usually two cards, a card, and then the second card will be the card of clarity or the supportive card, and then the third card that I show is always the bottom of the deck, because to me that is the energy that's enhancing it. Sometimes in some of these readings, if other cards are flying out, I'll take a look at them and I may or may not, well, I usually do include them, so they may or may not be more than 3 cards. So for here, we'll start with the first card, which is nice, the 6 of Wands. So the 6 is the planet of Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of strength, and it's the lucky planet. It's the planet of expansion, the planet of growth and opportunity. And 6 here is that number of exuberance. It's the element, you know, of radiating harmony and peace and balance. It's also sharing and reciprocity. It's being sensitive to people's needs and the benefit of giving, the benefit of supplying that undercurrent of generosity to others. Because the 6th card will also signify, you know, what's coming into one's life and the harmony and the peace and the love that is available to flow in, that is on its way. The 6 in the tarot story, it follows the 5s. And so there is newfound confidence here after the difficult, you know, turbulent, trying 5s. There's recovery, and everything seems to be back into balance. And, you know, again, the harmony or peace. And the harmony, the suit of Wands rather, is traditionally associated with the element of fire. So it's representing that spiritual level of consciousness. You know, when you think about fire, it's unpredictable, it's hot. Its energy can either nourish or destroy. You know, are you cooking food or are you burning something down? Again, it's very, very similar, you know, to Scorpio's energy. And wands are associated with spirituality and self-development through creativity. There's that expansion. You know, this is when the seed that is planted can actually spring forth. It has already and is being, you know, actualized, realized, felt. It's in that sense of expansion. You know, it's also ambition and primal energy. You know, this is the wands are self-development and spiritual revitalization and expansion. It's like a major win or a breakthrough or realization at a very, very deep level in this card. You know, at this card here, you know, the 6 the six of this card is often known as the card of victory. So the Six of Wands, as I don't know if this is focusing, so I'm trying to be really with the card and then technically look at the camera to see if I'm out of focus. Yeah, this is the card of victory. You know, in this card, it's also depicted rather, it's a messenger. You see him, he's heralding some great news. The positive six, the energetic wands, and beyond this victory, it's producing something even more. It's the type of self-confidence that inspires others. You know, look at him. Look at the people around him. Take a really good look, you know, at the energy of everyone surrounding him, how they're dressed, how they're carrying themselves. You know, look at this guy. He's inspiring others, and with his confidence, he's riding high. There's pride and victory and honor, but you can also see that he has support. You know, the people that surround him are equally successful. Look at how they're dressed. Everyone here is having their expectation fulfilled, and there's this essence of joint victory or advancement towards goals. You know, he's shown here to be self-confident, and his leadership abilities are obvious. I'm going to put the card down. I can't stand and look at both. And he's very well received. He's well respected. And that's because he's been sensitive to the other's needs, and he's equally generous with them. The victory is also known, like this victory card, it's a win-win because it also allows for new energy. You know, notice the Three of Wands and what has created this. It's representative of mutual beginnings and unfoldings. If you see, I'm going to have to pick this up to show you now. If you see here in the card, let's see if I can focus this. He's touching and holding one wand. The woman in the balcony is holding and contributing another wand, and the woman below is holding the third wand. Together, these three wands alchemize and create this new spark, this new energy, this new force, life force, possibility, opportunity, victory. And everybody, even though he is, you know, he is riding in and bringing it forth, everybody is participating in this. That's where the generosity, you know, comes through. I feel like when this card is pulled, it's an indication that some major breakthrough has happened or will happen. So think in now and be open, because in the next 6 weeks, 6 months, I mean, it might even be triggered within the next 6 days. It can be a time to experience a victory of some sort. It might be creatively, it might be in a personal or joint creative expression. It could be some sort of insight, or perhaps an entire shift in perception, which has altered how you will be experiencing things from now on. This is a time where you can experience, at the very least, some sort of revitalization and expansion, and perhaps even, you know, a bigger breakthrough leading to, again, this win-win situation. It's going to be something bigger than just something that is experienced for you on your own. It will be something that will have a trickle-down effect, that will radiate outward. And you know, just remember that this is a deeper victory. It's a win that touches you at the spiritual or intuitive level, and it's allowing for a mutual unfolding. So some of the questions that you may want to chew on surround leadership and your relationship with it. What kind of leadership do others need from me? How do I participate and strengthen those who are leaders in my life? What have I helped with or resolved with? In other words, how have my actions or input helped or resolved something? Where can I be more generous? What is my relationship to sharing and being part of a community or a family or a work? And I'm getting another message. This can be, maybe there are some of you that are about to embark on a domestic relationship or are going to be getting married, but somehow shifting from habitating or living by oneself into cohabitating. So what is my relationship to sharing and cohabitating with another? It might also be someone who is entering college or university and will be rooming with somebody either in residence or outside of that. But it's asking ourselves all these questions. And finally, what do I feel confident about? What aspects of myself can I seek to find more confidence in? But that's the message here. All right, I'm eager to kind of turn over these other cards. So, wow. Okay, so quickly followed, we get the sun, and I'm going to wait for the bottom of the deck. I just want to, this is a beautiful energy. This is that, come dance with me. Come dance with me. So this is powerful, and this is the potential for something big. In the tarot, the sun is the card that follows the moon. So it's the principle of collaboration, of partnership, of cooperation, of teamwork. Kind of, I'm amping up this theme here. Or it's amping up this theme because the sun is the major arcana energy, and it's quick to follow your first pick of the Six of Wands in this reading. And because of that, it amplifies the message of tapping into that unlimited energy and life force, within us. It's also tapping into it through a shared vision. Again, through the community, through collaboration. And similar to the Six of Wands also, the sun represents your abilities to contribute in that collaborative effort at that time or at this time. This is an invitation now to create a new reality filled with life, with energy, with sunlight, with sunshine. It's a powerful time to be dynamic. To tap into that personal dynamism, into that aspect of yourself, into that aspect of your creative energies. Tap into the full, maybe unrealized version of who you are, and be that in the sun's supportive energy. When one's inner sun or the third eye is awakened, then the presence of the divine can fully be amplified in the life juice, in everything that surrounds you. So it's giving rise to this incredible, expansive, enthusiastic possibility. Remember that the sun is enlightenment. It's wisdom. It's clarity from the fog or the darkness that was previously unclear. It's amplifying that voice, the eruption of light. It is whatever was previously unclear or hidden, this is the light of day. This is liberating. It's success. It's freedom. It's a new understanding or a new comprehension of something. So I'm feeling a very, very big personal time of happiness and growth. It's a special time right now to experience intense enjoyment around and in your life. I'm just seeing pictures and I'm trying to put words to them. Yeah, I'm getting it's an incredible time to experience intense enjoyment around and in your life with others. It's a time where your inner light and your warmth is shining through, and it's creating such enthusiasm and participation with others. Like, look at the theme with everybody here. So kind of the questions to ponder at this time: what joys am I sharing with others? What new things are waiting to be birthed in my life? What relationships bring me joy, and how can I show up and enhance that happiness for everyone involved? How can I be a better team player, a better worker, a better partner, a better person? In what ways do I positively influence and affect people? How do I show up in my community? How can I be more encouraging to those around me? And I'm hearing those that are known and those that are unknown. So let's see now what the bottom of the deck energy. Oh, wow. Okay, you guys. You got the world. You've got the world at your feet. This is, I mean, this is beautiful. This is so powerful. This is the card of mastery. It's the principle of totality and wholeness. It's the importance of letting go and moving forward, you know, in order to be lifted up, in order to soar. In a way, you can see this is the card of transition. It's finishing something and beginning anew. It's the positive and the negative, the internal and the external. It's the end and the beginning. It represents the mastery of balancing those oppositions, those polarities, the paradoxes, but within oneself. And again, in keeping with that Scorpio moon theme, it's completing and now integrating all the inner work that has been done up until now, ascending, elevating to the next level, the next paradigm, the next reality. This story is ending as the next one begins. You know, so again, I interpret this as I did the 10 and the 1, because it ties into the themes here, because it's the completion and the initiation. It's one who can simultaneously let go by completing the old while moving forward by initiating the new. It's the ability to cut through any limitations or restrictions. Someone who loves to travel and experience as much of the world as possible. I mean, there's a deep desire here, you know, to connect to this universe, to travel the world and to relate and to taste and experience all that it has to offer. That's what the world card is all about. It's infinite potential, that everything is now available to you. It is arrival, a self-actualization that may not always be understood or appreciated by others, but you live comfortably in that knowing, in the awareness of the complexity, but having been wiser. So you understand the darkness and the light. You understand the dichotomy and the complexities of life, but you're wiser because you've mastered it within your own inner world. You're free, you know, that mastery has freed yourself. You've gone beyond previous limitations, and ultimately you're beginning a new cycle to maximize your own potential. Wow. Here's this final message that that's coming in, because I want to wrap up the tarot portion and move on to the rest of the cards. But by following the message of the Six of Wands and bringing out into this world, or in your community, family, co-workers, by sharing the wisdom you've gained, by collaborating and creating something in community so that others may share in it, and that they may share and feel the same satisfaction in this feat, you will experience liberation and wholeness. The World card, yes. I mean, there's some kind of karmic freedom here as well. By paying attention to the preceding cards and their messages, the World card is telling me that you have definitely reached a state of completion, or can, by following this. Your inner sense of self-esteem has been developed, and it's now anchored into a foundation that's solid. Recognition from others is likely now, because not just because your goals have been fulfilled, but because everything that you've experienced and undergone up until now have been steps forward in your personal powers. They've been strengthened and they have been clarified now. Oh my gosh, wow. All right, let's move on to a talented Canadian psychic medium, Colette Barron-Reed. Oh, whew. And we get message in a bottle. Here is the 6 again, 15, 1 and 5 is 6, and your 6 of Wands. And the message of the bottle, this is a card of communication. When I look at this card, I think of, let's see if I can hold it here, I think of messages that will be received, but not in the usual way. So look for messages coming through, but they will be coming through indirectly. Listen for cladons. These are the oracle messages that I see being delivered in this card and what this card stands for. We tend to look for and pay attention to the obvious information or the obvious answers, but perhaps right now you're being asked to expand the receptors, your blinders, and the ability to receive messages can come to you in other creative, equally, if not more powerful ways. You're being asked to listen and to look for messages in the day-to-day, in the obvious, in the right here, right now, right in front of me. And when I say obvious, I mean in the hidden, but very obvious in front of you. It's hidden in plain sight. I guess that's what I mean by obvious, or that's what I'm hearing for obvious. And a word or two, like for example, okay, I'm seeing words passing, just floating in bubbles. So it could be listening or hearing a word or two from a passing conversation that you overhear from strangers, but somehow it's answering a lingering question that you've had. You change the channel and you overhear a character on TV or in a movie saying something to another, which is also quite timely, in your life, or to what you have been pondering at that time or during that day even. You switch the radio, you're driving, and in a moment, you don't like the song you're listening to, and then you switch it only to hear a verse from another song or in a tune, and you hear it just in time, or you're hearing some sort of radio banter mid-sentence that you can't believe what you're hearing because it's strangely soothing and timely to the messages that you are asking to hear. This happens often for me, and partially because I go out into the world expecting it and playing with it. So maybe try to do that if you feel like it. That's the message of the message in the bottle. It's tapped in there. It's ready. I mean, this is, you see the telephone in there. It's safe in the deep waters, and it's been lingering out there, ready and waiting. It's just now up to you to unbottle it, uncork it, hear it. And so from the Winged Enchantment, we get the Dove, number 8. Dove is a spirit message. Dove is a symbol of deep peace. It's inner contentment. She's the soothing mother that wraps us in her warmth and her gentle kindness, similar to Tara. actually very similar to Tara. She's, let's see, can you see that? There we go. She helps, soothes us. She wraps us in her warmth and her gentle kindness. She helps silence our worries and our troubled thoughts. And I'm speaking about the dove, but I'm speaking actually, again, energetically attracted, like attracts like. The energy and messages of Tara are there, very similar in the same way. And there's the 8, the infinity symbol, which to me, it means eternal. It's the halo over the magician in the tarot, and that endless, eternal nature of energy. I've picked this deck and I really love it. I wanted to do I always love including animal messages or animal totems, but I decided to go with this deck because there are short messages that I find very powerful. So I'll list the affirmation portion in the comment box below, but I'm going to read the entire thing because it's very short. And then I'll also read the affirmation portion. So, I am dove, the peace of alignment. Actually, I'm being told, take a look at this. And if you feel like it, close your eyes as I read this to you with this image in mind, if you feel like it. I am dove, the peace of alignment. I am feminine. I am sensitive to my surroundings. I am the nourishment of the earth and the gentleness of her instinct. I am the calm after the storm. I am hope and harvest. I am embellishment of harmony and the sacrifice necessary to nurture what has been created. You are at peace now and brimming with compassion. You are in love with life. I am the enjoyment of family connection. I am the safety of a united community. This is not a time to fly solo, but rather to seek out kindred spirits. I am the gathering of like minds. I am the coven. I am the serenity of kin. I am group mind and structure. Merge your energies with others and watch what unfolds. There is great power in collaboration. There is profound wisdom within the whole. My God, I am having chill bumps right now. I'm prompted to read the next 4, the little poem, the little affirmation, but I can't help but hear words in this, I can't help but hear words in this message that has been written by Lesley Morrison that is so clear, that I have been channeling and saying throughout from all of this. You are engaging life. You are embracing peace. You are aligning with others. You are dove. Yeah, I just can't, I do. I accept how perfect this is in the scheme of everything, and in the energy of, I never really realized, but I'm truly now feeling like I'm being introduced to White Tara as the dove. She is the mother of all Buddhas, and as it said here, what did it say here about I can't find it now. Maybe I actually received it and I didn't read it from Dove. That's probably what happened. That happens often. Anyway, wow. Okay. So many more things. So this is going to be really interesting to see now what the final message is here. So the final card here is from a deck, and you almost always will include one of the decks from Chuck Spezzano. This is from his healing cards. It's also known as the Conspiracy deck. And so far, we've actually, in the previous readings, we've turned over healing and grace messages. We have yet to turn over a conspiracy message, and sometimes it can be a little jarring, but I will explain it or talk it through. Anyway, Chuck Spezzano is amazing. He is a therapist and a PhD, but he is a gifted soul who is also tapped into something greater. And through his teachings, his books, through these cards, but I've read all of his books as well, they are access to tapping into healing the hurt that shame and guilt might bring, or the stories that we tell ourselves. Anyway, okay, let's just see what okay, I love it. For Scorpio, this is the first conspiracy card I've pulled now for these readings. So this is the conspiracy card of sex. And I will read it from the book and go to it. I'm kind of surprised because so far we've been graced with all these grace cards, but it's actually perfect in the scheme of all this. And I'm going to tune in to see if there's a deeper message sexually. The obvious is obviously Scorpio, and Scorpios are known for their sexuality. But it's interesting as well because as we get this conspiracy card of sex, in the scheme of the World card, in the context of sex or sexuality, this card can be used to liberate a sexual block. And in the context of the Sun card, it can mean lovers turning into friends, and that may or may not mean a continued, quote unquote love relationship, but it does indicate lovers turning into friends. And so the World continues that theme in something is ending and beginning at the same time. So this might just be for a select few, some of these messages. Does anyone out there have or has had an ongoing lover? And is there something, that has been halted or stopped in that capacity that continues in a different capacity? And it's interesting too because white Tara appears when purification is needed. So are there any behaviors that are lowering your self-esteem or not supporting a healthy state sexually? This can also be, chemicals or toxins or addictions, alcohol. This is where she can help in recovery. And recovering also what is out of sorts, what is no longer in integrity. Are there behaviors that are leading me to the darkness? Into, you think of the theme of the that are, it says find richness from the dark night, but are there behaviors that are leading me into the dark night? Is there anything here that is leading me to experience feelings of shame and guilt? Is my shadow self out of balance? Remember to call in white Tara to help you tap into the essence of everything that is pure and good within. And the sun can also help shed and shine light and bring forth and heal the shadow aspects that might have taken hold. I'm hearing now ask, can I look for, can I connect to, can I feel, can I believe in my own purity and the divinity that exists within me? Can I see the shadow as a balance to my light? Especially in this time of the Scorpio new moon, can I trust it and find a way for it to bring balance within my light. All right, I think that's all that I've got for this, but let me read from the book and just see what the highlights are for this conspiracy card, which is perfect. Because honestly too, this is such a strong reading that this is the balance of it. You know, there's nothing negative about any of all this. So, and there's nothing negative about this. There's potential for it, but the point that I'm trying to make is that it's just the perfect time to pull one of these cards. So, and just highlights from his book and from the explanation of the sex conspiracy. Basically, it can take many forms, but you ask, where are we using sex to hold us back? We may have repressed or exaggerated sex in some way so that it is blocking the energy or focus necessary to complete our purpose. And again, wow, very much in keeping in theme with the completions and with the beginnings. If you receive this card, you are being notified that you have set up a significant trap around sex. So somehow, whether sex is repressed or overly prominent in your life, you have exaggerated its importance. Has it become a vehicle for taking instead of giving? Because if it has, then you are holding yourself back or you're hurting yourself. So the message here from the book is, do not lose your opportunity to enjoy the fun and the joining that sex brings. And this is so, really, really beautiful and really interesting. You know, and as I said earlier, can I see the shadow as a balance to my light? You know, can I look at it as a way to bring balance into my life and to bring light into my life? Oh, and before I forget, so this is going to bookend our entire reading here. I hope you've liked it. I should have probably mentioned this earlier, but if you stumble across this and there is no new moon in Scorpio, there is no new moon, or you just get it when you get it, please trust the messages, listen to them, especially if they resonate. I believe that we get messages when we are able to hear them. Often we get messages all the time, but a lot of times they just are not even absorbed or heard by us. I love it. Again, so we get the card of obedience. Obedience, ooh la la. This reading is just getting more and more interesting. So obedience, this is the act of obeying. It's compliance, it's a surrender to something. You can also look at this as a form of submission. But in the overall theme of everything, and not just kind of on the heels of the sex or conspiracy card, it's time to ask, to whom or what am I surrendered to? To what energy do I wish to be in compliance with? Where does my obedience lie? You know, where am I putting my obedience? Is it in the darkness? Is it in the light? To what am I giving that surrender to? Here's the thing, obedience again, and I'm just listening right now, but I'm hearing it actually can be a gateway to freedom, which is again part of the themes that were mentioned earlier. So if we see it as that, we can look at obedience as an inner knowing or devotion to something. And we can look at it as something a little more beloved, as a devotional practice, versus what am I being obedient or a slave to? So ask yourself, where can my obedience serve me? And maybe explore. I'm going to look up the word online or in my dictionary when we get when we sign off here. But I always take these readings and also apply them to my life. So it's not about having a word or a card jar us. It's about seeing how it can actually enhance the whole reading. That's the way I perceive things and the way I share and convey the messages, or the way that they are translated to me. Anyway, I can go on and on. So if this reading spoke to you, please connect through the comments and let's hear all about it. Please take a moment to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. You can be informed that way of the new uploads. I am just beginning, so this channel is truly in its infancy, and any suggestions for future readings are welcome. I have some topics and interactive ideas in mind, and I'm going to do my best to be consistent in supporting your experience here and as you show up. Also, if you're inclined to, please feel free to share this link or post or spread the word in order to help build a community here. And if it's I am starting, I did not anticipate starting right now. I thought I was going to be launching more in 2020. And when I say launching, again, this was more of an impulse and a dream to begin. I had no idea a month ago that I was even going to have a channel or the desire or the message to create this channel. So I am just following everything. I'm staying unattached to the results, and I'm seeing where it can lead. And honestly, I'm having fun reading. So as long as I can stay in that energy, I feel, at least from my end, I'll be in that sense of satisfaction and enjoyment and in that support in my life. So I want to send many thanks, and I'm wishing you many divine blessings, pure light, and much, much love.